Alright, so supposedly we're going. Supposedly we are going. But I want to refresh and see it for myself. Yes, there it is. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, whatever. Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is I, your host, Pogo Kiddo, with yet another episode of Red Stone Lapis Lazuli. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Java, don't crash. Back to game. Yes, there it is. Whoa, hey guys, what's up? These are my two librarians. Librarians being librarians and everything else. Yes. All right, so I had some weird thing pop up. Let me show you what's going on, right? So this is how you see the chunk borders in Minecraft. Minecraft is filled with these invisible lines called chunk borders. Every chunk is 16 by 16. So 16 this way and 16 that way. And the game only registers a certain number of chunks around the player. So around me, this chunk is always active, and it goes out like however many that way and however many that way to get your number. And you can see, right, wherever I go, the chunks move, and then that chunk way back there gets unloaded, and then the chunk way up there gets loaded, and it just goes like that everywhere I go. So the problem that happens is that this is hooked up to my system for the crops. And they come into this building, which is supposed to be like it's the building that separates them all into their separate pieces. But then you have like these problems where things are showing up where they're not supposed to be at. And you're like, how is that possible? And I'm like, oh, I've discovered the problem. So remember what I told you about chunk borders? So here's one chunk border, and then here's another chunk border going that way. So right here is where all four chunk borders meet. And the problem is that, like, I will be in a certain part of the map, and this chunk will be loaded, but that chunk will not be loaded. If that happens, this breaks this whole redstone machine, because the whole redstone machine needs both sides to work. And then you have this guy, which is broken up into, like, even from this one. So, like, this whole system is broken. I have to fix it, and the way I fix it is I remake it within one chunk. But like, where would that be, right? Because like this chunk goes into the water, and then this chunk over here, it goes into this guy's house, and over the minecart station. So I'm like, how am I gonna do this? And I'm thinking, I just need to like take over this guy's house, and probably also the minecart station, or at least do something with it, because yeah, the machine goes back pretty far. It goes back to what? 126. So I would have to be back here to like 126 to back here. It will wreck the machine. I can't have it here unless I move the rail line, which I can probably do, right? I mean, it's not that hard to move the rail line to somewhere else. I'll end up destroying this thing. Making it somewhere else, turning this building into like the storage building, and then there's like, what, 2 beds in here? There's 2 beds in here. I go find new. I'll make another little house like over here. But yeah, it's a bunch of work I found out I have to do. Anyways, no one cares, right? No one cares. It's Minecraft. I mean, maybe some people care, but not that many, right? All right. I also found out this thing. They must have made an update to Minecraft, because back in the day, whenever you went around like a diagonal, the minecart would wig out and look all funny. But now, watch, check this out. Now the minecart just goes diagonally. So it's smooth. It's just diagonal, and it looks a lot better, right? It looks way better going diagonally than wigging out like it was doing. I move much faster here in this area because of the beacon. The beacon of power. Anyways, yeah, I haven't really done much, right? That's not true. I have done stuff. I went mining for goods, but I found out the best way to mine is to leave it in the ore form. I can carry the most if I leave it in ore form, but then I have to come back and manually break them later on, which is what I'm gonna do right now, right? Why not? Why not? Why not? So, anyways, all right. Let's talk about what's been going on. Bad stuff is going on. Donald Trump is continuing to disobey the Constitution. He's denying people their due process rights. He just denies them. And then he kicks them out of the country, and he says, oh, they're out of the country, I can't do anything about it, which is a lie, because he's paying for El Salvador to hold these people. So, yeah, Donald Trump is continuing to destroy the Constitution. He's also making a bunch of money using his meme coin. He made a crypto coin, and that crypto coin is a way for people to pay him bribes without there being a record of it. Because what are you doing? You're just buying a crypto coin. You're not actually giving him money. But from the crypto coin, Donald Trump can just take all the money out. So all you have to do is announce, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy a bunch of Donald Trump's crypto coin, and then he gets a bunch of money. And then what does he do with that money? He does whatever you want him to do, right? It's a bribe. He's bribing. You're bribing him. That's the whole point. That's what's going on. Donald Trump has found a way to accept bribes from people. So, I mean, I can show you pictures of it. Like, I'm just like exhausted. I don't know why. I'm tired. I'm really tired. I went to the protest yesterday. Not as many people, but there are still people out there to protest against Donald Trump. Yeah, the Republicans are just moving full speed ahead with their takeover of the American government, and it's their destruction of the American government. You have to understand, Donald Trump is on Team Russia, right? I mean, like, that's what he's here for. He's here to attack the West. So everyone's like, oh yeah, the West, dude. Donald Trump just started an economic war with the entire West. At first, the only people getting hit with sanctions was Russia, but then Russia got their Russian puppet Donald Trump into office, and then Donald Trump launched the Russian counteroffensive by declaring a trade war with all of America's allies. So it wrecked everyone's economy, the most of all the Americans. So it's so stupid. Like, I don't know. Just everything's stupid. Everything's dumb. I have all these slides. I don't even feel like showing them. I guess I should, right? But there's like no one watching. No one cares. I don't know. I'm just tired. I think that's just what it is. I'm tired. I need to take a break or something. I don't know. Like, I haven't made the Statue of Liberty, but then I'm like, man, I don't even want to make the Statue of Liberty. Why? Because New York, like, has got some shitty politicians. Sure, there's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's fantastic, right? She's great. But look at everybody else in New York. You got like Eric Adams. You got the Cuomo brothers. You got Bobby Mendez. That was in New Jersey. Bobby Mendez. You got Bloomberg. He's terrible. What's his name? Schumer. He's terrible. Schumer helped the Republicans break the Democratic filibuster so they can advance their agenda, their budget. Schumer and like 9 other Democrats broke the Democratic filibuster to help the Republicans. And then it's like, that's not even all of it. And then Cory Booker with a bunch of other Democrats voted for the Republican ambassador to China. Like, Cory Booker gave a 25-hour speech about not collaborating with the enemy, and then he collaborates with the enemy to help them pass their anything, right? He helped them to get their ambassador to China. I mean, he didn't make them read the rules. He didn't make them do a manual recount. He just helped them. He just helped them to move things along so they can get to the business of fascism. It's like he doesn't even know what he did. Yeah, that makes me wonder how much the Democrats are like controlled opposition. Because it came out that Biden didn't even try to stop Netanyahu from committing genocide. He just went along with it. Biden's legacy is that he helped commit genocide in Gaza, and he sacrificed America to do it. He's like, Israeli apartheid is more important than American sovereignty. That's Biden's legacy, is that he betrayed the Americans to help Israel, to help apartheid. So like, yeah, I just don't feel like there's a whole lot of stuff. I mean, I know America's worth fighting for, that not everyone is a corrupt politician, and that there are a lot of people here who have never got to experience America's promise. They've been always denied. In fact, America was built upon their backs. So I mean, I know it's worth fighting for, if not for the stupid politicians, but for the people that have been denied America's promise. Like, America is supposed to be a free haven where you can go to escape your tyrannical government. So that's why the betrayal of Abrego Garcia is so awful, because he fled El Salvador to get away from oppression, and Donald Trump sent him back into it for no reason. And now all his fascist minions are like cheering that they broke the Constitution. Like, yeah, we denied this guy his rights, his constitutional rights. Like, and you're proud of that? You fucking dumbasses. So, yeah, there's just a lot of stupid people in this country. So I went to this protest yesterday, right? And like, there wasn't nearly as many people there this time. And that might be because everyone went to the May Day protest, but I was at work. Yeah, so, you know, it was pretty good. It was all right, except all the people that gave us fingers and yelled that they love Trump, all of them were white dudes. All white guys. White guys. All white guys are pro-Trump. All the white guys, or all the support came from white dudes. It was either white dudes or the wives of white dudes sitting in the passenger side while the white dude drove. Like, so one guy actually fucking got out of his car. So that was kind of scary, Because like when he put the car in park, it was like time moved in slow motion. And I was watching, like, looked inside this car really, really carefully to see where his hands went. Because, like, I was fully prepared for this guy to, like, pull out a fucking gun and start shooting us. Because I live in America. And that kind of shit happens. But yeah, it was just... It's like they're totally clueless. Like they have no idea, or they don't even care that they're on Team Nazi. They won't even look. Like, does it ever cross their minds to wonder why all the white people it's just white people on their side? Do they ever question it? Do they ever wonder why? I mean, sure, there's a few like minorities on Team Trump, but not nearly as many as like every ethnic group except for Latino males. Every ethnic group, the majority went for Harris. The only ethnic group that went for Trump was white males by the most, 60%, and white females. And then you got your Hispanic males, your Latino males, 53% or something like that. And but Latino males only represented 6% of the electorate, whereas white women were like 37%. Way bigger, way bigger. So the vast majority of support for Donald Trump comes from white people. Do you think that ever like causes them to wonder? To ask? That's weird. I wonder why only white people, and I wonder why all the Nazis are on our side. Do you think that they ever wonder? No, they never wonder. They never ever ask. So yeah, I was at that protest. I mean, I'm not saying all white people are bad, because look, right, a lot of the people at that protest were white. Like, most of the people at that protest, at the anti-Trump protest, were white. So I'm not saying all white people are bad, but like when your group is the group that supports Donald Trump the most, shouldn't that give you pause? Wouldn't that cause you to think about something like, I wonder why that is? But they're not intellectually curious, right? They're pretty pretty stupid people. Like they never wonder why. Like why? Like why is our guy like? They never ask why Elon Musk is doing the Nazi sign. They never ask why. Oh, they'll explain it away. They'll say that's not really a Nazi sign. And then maybe they'll show still images of liberal leaders with their hand outstretched. And I'm like, and they'll say, see, it's the same thing. No, no, it's not the same thing. Here's a video of your guys actually doing it. All you have are still images meant to misrepresent what's actually happening. Why can't you show me the full video of this supposed Nazi sign? Why wasn't there a big news story about, oh, Obama did a Nazi salute? Because he didn't do a Nazi salute, you dumbasses. Do you ever wonder why? Do you ever wonder? Like, yeah, so Donald Trump is a pretty shitty guy. And I think most people are figuring this out. But there's still a stubborn group of idiots who are, they're pretty much fascists. They're slavers. They just want to go back to slavery. They want to go back to that time of Jim Crow is what they want. So stupid, people. People are so stupid. Nearly 1 in 5 Confederate monuments were erected on courthouse lawns. The majority of these were built between 1900 and 1920, the height of Jim Crow segregation. So these Confederate monuments that they say, oh, that's our heritage, you know, that wasn't done during the Civil War. That was done after the Confederacy was defeated, and long after it was over. It was done not as a symbol of our heritage, but more of like warning to black people. How many statues of King George does the United States have? King George is our heritage. Yeah, but we have 0 statues of King George in the United States. Why do we have statues of traitors who tried to destroy the United States? But remember, we're stuck in a cult of personality right now. There's a bunch of Americans who are literally on board with fascism and slavery. You can't tell them that because they don't believe you, but that's what's going on. Where's that cartoon? Did I keep it? I did keep it. Then we must preserve our heritage, and it's pointing to the Confederacy, and then you find out on the other side, we must bury our heritage by destroying critical race theory and banning any mention of the Tulsa Race Massacre in 1921. So at the same time they want to, they say they're protecting their heritage, they're also destroying their heritage by not making it illegal to teach the history of what happened, the racism and the slavery, the Jim Crow, the institutionalized racism. I mean, that's what the whole book banning thing is about. It's about censorship. The Nazis, the Confederates, the fascists can't abide by freedom. So they want to ban books because, they're all about censorship. If you criticize Elon Musk on his social media site, he will shadow ban you, so that your posts will be there, but they won't reach anybody. Nobody can see them. And this is from Elon Musk. Supposedly, he always cried about free speech before, but now that he has power, he is not at all true to his values. He is the biggest censor of all. He censors information negative about Elon Musk, and he promotes fascists and Nazis and bigots. Because it was never about free speech and always about power. Because he's a fascist. Elon Musk is a fucking Nazi. I mean, he's a billionaire, right? No billionaire is your friend. No billionaire is your friend. Why would you think he's the world's richest man? Why do you think the world's richest man gives a fuck about you? What else do I got here? But yeah, I mean, like, that's exactly what's going on. That cartoon. I like cartoons. They encapsulate a lot of stuff very quickly. But yeah, the same people crying about, oh, we got to preserve our heritage with these statues of traitors. The same people say, oh, but we have to ban any discussion of our history. Like how we got here. We have to ban it. You can't talk about it. And yeah, dude, like Donald Trump just gave an interview where he said he doesn't know if he's supposed to uphold the Constitution. Like, I heard he didn't swear upon a Bible when he gave the oath. I mean, I don't care much about the Bible anyways, but like, to not know if he was supposed to defend the Constitution and uphold the laws faithfully, shit. That's because he's a dictator. I mean, he's already talking about serving a third term, even though he's not allowed to. And then they're like, she's like, it's written in the Constitution. You have to give due process to everyone. And Donald Trump says, oh, I'm not a lawyer. I just listen to what my lawyers tell me. Which is bullshit, right? It's bullshit. He doesn't listen to his lawyers. His lawyers told him, don't do January 6th. And he did it anyways. He doesn't give a fuck what his lawyers say. Yeah, Donald Trump is a bad guy. Nothing good about Donald Trump. Everything bad about Donald Trump. More copper. I have iron too. Ooh, coal. Sure, get the coal. Let's get everything today. Yeah, we're gonna, oh shit, we're gonna start seeing empty shelves here at the end of May, I think. I said 2 weeks, but I don't really know. I guess a lot of firms did a bunch of buying before the tariffs hit, and then after that there will be nothing. no more ships coming in. So yeah, and then so Donald Trump is changing his tune. Before he said that he was gonna make everyone way richer by lowering the prices, and now he's like, well, you have to make do with having less stuff. Donald Trump is telling Americans to make do and to have less stuff because of his economic policies. He's pretty much saying he's a billionaire telling everyone to suck it up while he That's fucking crazy, dude. Like, that's pretty much what that CEO was saying to people from United Healthcare. He was saying the same thing. He was telling people to suck it up. It's like, we're not going to pay for your healthcare, just suck it up. It would be a waste to like, there's not even a point in assassinating Donald Trump because he's old and he's gonna die soon. And like, you're gonna sacrifice your entire life for a guy that's got maybe 5 years left. And so far, everyone who's tried to kill Donald Trump has been a Republican. Some of them tried to kill Donald Trump because he wasn't right-wing enough. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do know, right? Donald Trump is a fucking piece of shit. Did you see him at the Vatican? That's Donald Trump fucking conked the fuck out. He's knocked out. He's wearing a blue suit at a funeral, number one. Like, the President of the United States doesn't have a black suit for a funeral? Really? Fuck, dude. Like, and he was giving Zelensky shit. And that wasn't a funeral for a pope. The dude's at war, literally at war, and you're bitching at him for not wearing a suit. And here you are, wearing a blue fucking suit at a funeral while you're asleep. What a piece of shit, Donald Trump. Piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. So you gotta wonder, man, the people that followed a piece of shit, like, what's wrong with them? What's wrong with their brains that they would follow a piece of shit? And, well, I don't want to play that clip of Yuri again, but their brains have been washed, dude. They don't have any way of, for them, the truth doesn't exist. Truth is secondary to power. That they have to listen to what the power tells them is real because they can't figure it out for themselves. It's gonna be a long, hot summer. So Donald Trump is itching to declare martial law. He totally wants it. I think that's why, yeah. So he's hoping for an excuse to enact martial law. I don't think that should stop us from protesting or anything, but we should be aware that he's trying to instigate shit. Maine. Trump administration settles with Maine over funding freeze after dispute over trans athletes. In response, the state will drop its lawsuit that has been filed against the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So Donald Trump, Maine has 2 trans athletes in the entire state of Maine. 2 trans athletes. And Donald Trump, in public, demanded that Maine do something about their 2 trans athletes to like stop them or something. And Maine's governor said, we're gonna just follow the law. And Donald Trump said, well, we're gonna make you pay now. And Maine said, fine, well, we'll see you in court. And what happened? He lost in court. Donald Trump lost in court. So he had to back off. And that's the thing about Donald Trump. He's just a big bully. That's all he is. Like, if you stand up to a bully, he's gonna back down. That guy has lost everything. That guy lost the last trade war. He's losing this trade war. He's gonna destroy the economy. Like, right now they're trying to work through a budget that cuts Medicare so that they can give tax cut to billionaires. In other words, like, we're taking away healthcare from poor people so that rich people can buy more yachts. Like, I know Trump voters are really stupid people. So if you try to tell them that that's what Donald Trump is doing, they won't understand it, they won't get it, or they won't believe it, because they only listen to what their leader tells them. But it's true. It's absolutely true. Republicans' budget plans, quote, moderate Medicare cuts is a massive $500 billion. That's not moderate. That's fucking huge. $500 billion cut to healthcare for poor people. And then conversely, there's the cost of the estate tax, because the estate tax doesn't hit anybody else except for rich people. So the Republicans got rid of the estate tax. So the cost of the estate tax cut and pass-through tax breaks for millionaires, because it only helps millionaires, right? The estate tax only kicks in for like estates above $1 million. So your parents leaving you the house is not going to trip off the estate tax, right? Unless you have really, really rich parents. But the cost of that was $520 billion. The way they pay for the estate tax cut for the rich people is they take away $500 billion for healthcare for poor people. Like, it's class warfare. It's absolutely class warfare. It's the rich versus the rest of us. But there's a lot of us who are absolutely stupid. You can fool some of the people all of the time, and that's Donald Trump's base. The people you can trick all of the time are Donald Trump supporters. There was a story about a white woman who was at a playground and called a little black girl the N-word. And it was filmed. And she went on social media and all the racists gave her money for what she did. Like, she made like millions of dollars, or I don't know about maybe $500,000. She made $500,000 from racism, from bigots. Like, Trump supporters are fucking stupid. They'll give a racist $500,000 for calling a little black girl the N-word. They're evil. They're bad people. I mean, you don't have to be a Trump supporter, right? It's not like something where you're born with or whatever. You can stop being a Trump supporter anytime. Like, it's not a disability to be a Trump supporter. Oh, oops. Glad that was empty. Can I get it? No, I can't even grab it. Hurry before it fills with lava. Got it. Okay. It's the last one. Lucky, lucky. Yep. So we're in for a world of hurt. A world of hurt because the United States couldn't get past its racism. Like, I know for sure the Dems are not perfect, but they're not fucking Nazis either. At least not most of them. I mean, sure, you're gonna have your bad apples, but like Fetterman, Biden, shit. Biden's totally racist against Palestinians. He fucking helped their genocide, dude. Biden's a bad guy. I was all about Bernie Sanders. I'm telling you, it was Bernie Sanders. That was... We would be in a different place had we gotten Bernie Sanders. But anyways, he's too old now. So that's why I'm looking at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Oh yeah. Anyways, we have to first survive Donald Trump, right? And like literally survive Donald Trump, because he's like packing people up and sending them to a concentration camp in a foreign country. So yeah, survive Donald Trump is a good way of putting it. He already says he wants to send American citizens. He wants to exile American citizens. And he has already. He's exiled like 2 little children, American children. He exiled them. Like, he can't deport them, because how do you deport them to the United States? Like, deporting means sending people back to their country of origin. And their country of origin was, these little kids, their country of origin was the United States. And he fucking shipped them off and exiled them to another country. Like, going through those lava buckets like crazy, man. Nope. All right. Keep it coming. Yay! Okay, what else do I got here? Donald Trump could not figure out. Well, so that's one thing, right? This is like the thing about him is that Donald Trump is just like crazy. So Donald Trump showed this picture, right? He's holding up a picture. And Donald Trump says he believes that the MS-13 is literally tattooed on this guy's knuckles. He believes it. He says he believes it. He says that's what he believes. Here's another one, right? So Donald Trump also has MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles. So, how long has Donald Trump been in MS-13? I mean, it's right there, right? Shit. No, but like really, he's really stupid. Listen, watch. He's really dumb.
We have to get him out, and we're doing it.
By law.
And you'll pick out one man, but even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Well, wait a minute.
So he thinks that so Donald Trump thinks that MS-13 that's on. Donald Trump thinks that's literally there. He thinks it's literally there, literally there. Now, here's another image, right, of Abrego Garcia meeting Senator Van Hollen, right? And you look, and magically, well, not magically, though MS-13 isn't there anymore. It's not there because it was never there, because that was a Photoshop done to say their interpretation of it. But Donald Trump is either stupid, is incredibly stupid, or he thinks we're really stupid. Like, it's one of those two. He's stupid, or he thinks we're that stupid. Look.
Tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine,
No,
sir.
Terry,
I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer...
Not interpreted. He thinks that Donald Trump, that MS-13 is literally written on his hands, even though it's not there anymore. So, like, we all know he's like, Grandpa's a little bit crazy, right? Grandpa doesn't understand what's going on, but Grandpa isn't able to get past it. He's not able to understand that he's wrong, or he can't admit it. Like, he can't admit it. He's so stupid, he can't figure out. Either he's so stupid or he thinks we're that stupid. But look at him. He won't go past the fact that he believes Photoshop.
Believe the news because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but they're there
in
now.
your picture.
Terry,
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
No, he doesn't, you dumbass. No, he doesn't. They're not there now. The reporter just told you, you fucker, you fuckhead. Are you that dumb? I mean, maybe he is that dumb. He's an old man, right? Like, he doesn't really understand what's going on. Like, maybe he doesn't really understand Photoshop, that you can manipulate photos. Maybe he doesn't know that. I think he does know that. I think he's just trying to be Mr. Dick here and be like, oh, I've got a big dick. Look at my big dick. Like, suck my big dick. That's what he's saying. And the reporter refuses. He's like, how many lights do you see? There are 4 lights. Fuck this guy. This guy is so dumb.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll take a look.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at that,
Why don't you just say yes, he does, and you know.
Why doesn't the reporter just fucking give in and say, sure, Grandpa, sure, we see MS-13, sure, okay, whatever. No! In fact, I think the reporter fucked up. The reporter should have made fun of Donald Trump, because that was the end of the interview. It wasn't going to go any further. If he's telling you that Photoshop is real, that he's not able to determine if Photoshop is real or fake, if that's what he's telling you, it means he's not really serious about giving this interview. The reporter should have been like, "Oh, really, Grandpa? Really? Who told you that this was real? Did someone tell you that it's real, or did you come up with that yourself?" And what's Donald Trump gonna say? "Oh, I came up with that myself." Oh, so no one in your administration could like help you to tell you that this is fake? And he's gonna go, "It's real, it's real." And the reporter should have been, "Really? You really think it's real? Really?" He should have fucking went off on Donald Trump. That would have been the end, but that would have been fine. That would have been a great way to go out. Donald Trump is so drunk on power, he thinks he can dictate reality to other people.
Go on to something else.
It's contested. Ukraine.
Yeah. He wouldn't do it. Donald Trump is so stupid. Well, I don't know if he's stupid. I mean, that's like a grandpa move, dude. Like, I can imagine, I mean, if Joe Biden did that, we'd be making fun of him for being a old grandpa for sure. Why don't we do it to Donald Trump? I mean, like, He doesn't even know what's going on half the time. He always has to say, ask my lawyers, ask Stephen Miller. I don't know what's happening. Shit. Fuck Donald Trump. Oh, look! J.D. Vance. Look what he has tattooed on his knuckles, Donald Trump. He tattooed on his knuckles, I killed the Pope. Holy shit! Does Donald Trump really think that J.D. Vance killed the Pope? Fuck. Da da da. So Donald Trump is also defunded the food safety in the United States. Like, already food safety in the United States was questionable. I knew Europeans who wouldn't eat American meat. they wouldn't eat it. They would not eat American meat because they don't trust American safety precautions. And that was like 20 years ago. It wasn't something recent. It was like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Shit. 25 years ago. Anyways, now they've taken away food safety again. The Trump administration took away the funding to check the American food. So what happened? What was life like before there was government inspections of food? There was this clip I found. What's going on here? Oh, it's the sun is moving. Let me do this real quick. The sun is moving. Let me just close this. Sorry, Mod, I gotta close this. All right, kitty cats. All right. There's this clip, or this I don't know where I got this from. In Washington, the Trump administration was working to address Mr. Bukele's confusion. Oh wait, no, this is something else. Where's the bread? This is okay. In Washington, so this is Donald Trump bringing back people that he mistakenly sent to Venezuela. So if the Americans can do that for these people who they mistakenly sent back, why can't they do it to Abrego Garcia, who they mistakenly sent to El Salvador? Why can't they do it? In Washington, the Trump administration was working to address Mr. Bukele's confusion about whom the United States had sent him. 8 women who had been mistakenly sent were swiftly flown back. The Salvadorian president wanted to confirm that all of the Venezuelans were actually members of the Tren de Aragua. Any regular deportees were to be held in separately in his prisons. So anyways, like, none of the people that they sent to El Salvador were actually members of that gang. None of them. How can I say that? Well, because the government never proved it. They never proved it. Not even for Abrego Garcia. They point to what an immigration judge said, but the immigration judge didn't rule that he was a gang member. All he said was that he'll accept what the police officer wrote down. And the police officer's report was bullshit. Because it said Chicago Bulls gear was enough to call someone a gang member. Which is stupid. So yeah, none of the people that were sent to El Salvador were gang members. The government never proved it. So if the government never proved it, how could the government do it? Well, if the government is breaking the Constitution, that's how they do it. Oh, man, I have so much. I don't even want to finish it. I'm so tired already. Measles. So in 1963, we found out a vaccine. It was licensed and it was administered. And then you notice how the number of cases of measles drops off to like nothing. Why? Because vaccines. That's why. But RFK Jr. is a fucking idiot, and he's gonna he got power by working with Donald Trump, and now he's gonna reverse course and bring measles back. So right now we have like the biggest outbreak of measles in a long time, and RFK Jr. is not doing anything to address it. And why do we have the largest outbreak of measles? Because people are stupid, and they don't follow the science, and they're anti-vaxxers because they're scientifically illiterate. J.D. Vance sided with Nazis. Oh no, was that No, that was Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio sided with Nazis. So in Germany, there's this political party called AfD. I don't know what it stands for, but their initials are AfD, and they're essentially the Nazi party. Like, they can't legally be the Nazi party because it's illegal in Germany to be a Nazi, but they pretty much are. Like, all in everything but name, they're the Nazi party. So Germany went through their process and decided, okay, we're gonna grant permission to our spy agency to keep tabs on the ADF because they're Nazis. And Marco Rubio was telling Germany not to do it. He was like, you shouldn't watch those Nazis. That's not very democratic of you. Like Marco Rubio has any room to talk about democracy. He's literally in the party that tried to overthrow the government in January 2026 or January 6th, 2021. I mean, they literally tried to overthrow democracy. Like, that's why I think I don't know what kind of world I'm in, like what timeline I'm on, because like these things happened, and like Donald Trump is still the president. Like, he should be in prison. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it only makes sense in the context of the United States being a white supremacist nation. That's the only way it makes sense. The South Korean president who tried to overthrow the government got impeached and is indicted. The Brazilian guy, Bolsonaro, who tried to overthrow the government, was removed from power and is being prosecuted. But in the United States, the guy who tried to overthrow the government for white supremacy ends up being the president. How is that possible? Because America is a white supremacist nation. The United States is a white supremacist nation. That's why. The majority of white people banded together to preserve white supremacy. Everything I learned in elementary school was wrong. This is a white supremacist nation. I mean, even Joe Biden sacrificed American democracy for Israeli apartheid. Even Joe Biden. It's a white supremacist nation. Not everyone's a white supremacist. Not even every white person's a white supremacist. But enough white people are white supremacists to make it a white supremacist nation. So the policies coming out of Donald Trump reflect the white supremacy nation status of the United States. He's bringing back segregation. He's bringing back class warfare. He's bringing back ethnic cleansing. He's bringing back bigotry. The rise of the ultra-wealthy. America's 19 richest households saw a $1 trillion increase in wealth last year, a rise that exceeds the size of Switzerland's entire economy. So you'll see that it was going down, 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 the ultra-wealthy, the wealth of the ultra-wealthy. It was going down, 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 from 1913, 1957, to about 1981. What happened in 1981 that reversed the course of this stuff. What happened? Ronald Reagan got elected. That's what happened. Ronald Reagan reversed the decline of wealth of the ultra wealthy, where the wealth is getting spread out amongst the Americans, and now he reversed it so it became more and more concentrated. Like, this is the .com bubble. And then you can't even see that must be the 2008 crash. I don't know. Anyways, it's shitty. Donald Trump with 3 invisible dicks. I saw this. This is a very good one. Catty's shit cartoons. Alright. Atoms are binary. They are either intended to be hydrogen or helium. We can't just scrape this worldview just because a handful of exceptions. So, 74% of the atoms in the universe are hydrogen. 25% of the atoms in the universe are helium. Only 1% of the atoms in the universe are anything other than hydrogen or helium. So, a creationist would say, oh yeah, because God intended for all atoms to be either hydrogen or helium. You have to ignore the 1% that's other than hydrogen or helium. Man, that 1% is what makes life possible. Like, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that other 1%. But so this cartoon is making fun of the gender binary, where the gender binary says the people who promote gender binary will tell you, oh, 99% of people are either male or female. Those 1% we should just ignore, which is dumb, right? That's dumb. Like, if you'd use that same logic with atoms in the universe, you would eliminate the very atoms that give us life. It's just stupid. It's just stupid to have a gender binary. All right, there was something that I saw that was like that shocked me. All right, so this one here. Michelle says, college was free until 1970, when then Governor of California, Ronald Reagan, decided to create the student loan crisis we have today, because he was afraid of the masses being educated. Oh, and anti-war protests on college campuses. I'm like, damn, dude, that's a lot of fucking truth claims to make in one short sentence. That's a lot. So I'm like, well, let me unpack that. That sounds like a lot. Like, Ronald Reagan made the student loan crisis? Like, what? So I looked at it, right? I looked it up, and I found this opinion, right? It's opinion, but it was written in February 2023. It was published in New University, which is the official campus newspaper of the University of California, Irvine. And it says Ronald Reagan's legacy: the rise of student loan debt in America. So since this is in a university newspaper, I'm pretty sure you can't just print whatever you want. Like, there's standards. So out of this article, I got a lot of information. Reagan's education advisor, Ronald A. Friedman, said, "We are in danger of producing an educated proletariat. That's dynamite. We have to be selective on who we allow to go through higher education. This belief has shaped higher education to become a privilege of the upper class, with tuition serving as a barrier to those from working class backgrounds." So in other words, the whole point of college was, of Ronald Reagan's view of college, was that it was never meant for working class people. It was only, the education part was only supposed to be for the wealthy, for the privileged, not for the workers. Because if the workers get educated, that's a problem for the rich. Ronald Reagan believed it, right? That's what Ronald Reagan believed. Before Reagan became, before Reagan became governor of California, tuition was free for California residents. However, Reagan viewed the University of California system as disruptive, and his distaste and intent to change the system was revealed in an FBI memo. Quickly after becoming re-elected as governor, Reagan began cutting state funding of public universities by 20%. His justification was that colleges had become too liberal, and taxpayers should not subsidize intellectual curiosity. That's crazy, but that's nothing new, right? How many times have we heard that universities indoctrinate people into liberalism? They've been saying that since Ronald Reagan, since the fucking 70s. Dude, they've been after universities forever. The reasoning, this reasoning represented a shift in the purpose of college. College was no longer a place to pursue higher intellect and endeavors, but rather a place to maximize profit-making skills. Eventually, state funding became only 32% of the total budget, causing the system to have to charge a tuition of $630 for the first time. This fee has steadily increased, with the University of California, Irvine now costing $13,985 for in-state residents. As state funding has decreased, increased reliance on tuition hikes has put a financial burden on students. So Ronald Reagan didn't like the fact that poor people were getting educated. So in order to get rid of poor people from college, he reduced the amount of money that the state was paying to universities, to the point where the universities had to start charging tuition, because the goal was to make college so expensive that workers couldn't afford it anymore. When Reagan became president, he continued his efforts to dismantle the public education system, targeting federal aid to students. In his campaign for the presidency, he advocated for the total removal of the U.S. Department of Education. Well, that's what Donald Trump is trying to do. And Ronald Reagan is like one of the shittiest presidents ever. So, yeah. Though this plan had little congressional support, Reagan was still able to reduce funding toward education by 25%. The same way that Donald Trump is doing it. Donald Trump is attacking all the universities strictly through executive orders. He doesn't even have to pass laws. He just signs a piece of paper and then demands Republicans follow his agenda. With this continual slashing of aid, the federal government's involvement in tuition shifted from grants to loans. So this attack on education has been going on for fucking years. And it started with Reagan, that piece of shit. So, to go back to what Michelle said, that college was free until 1970. Yep, she's right. And when then governor of California, Ronald Reagan, decided to create the student loan crisis. Yep, she is right there. And because he was afraid of the masses being educated. Yep. And because he didn't want the anti-war protests. Yep, she was totally correct. Ronald Reagan is the cause of all of this. Which brings us back to this thing. The rise of the ultra-wealthy. When did the tendency for wealth to be distributed evenly, when did that change? That changed in 1981 when Ronald Reagan took power. Ronald Reagan, the guy who invented student loan debt. Ronald Reagan, the guy who made college tuition so expensive because it was free until him. Fuck Ronald Reagan. I mean, this is the truth no matter what. Every time. Since the very, very, very beginning of the United States. They blame the immigrants, so you won't blame the rich, the billionaires. Every time. Alright. Oh yeah, I got someone watching me. Yay! Hello, viewer! I got, You can blame people by religion. Like, you can check out President Trump, dangerous dictator or strong leader, by religious affiliation. So, out of all Americans, statement number 1 says Donald Trump is a dangerous dictator. The majority of Americans feel that Donald Trump is a dangerous dictator. But that's not true of all religious people. It depends on which religion you're talking about. For black Protestants, the vast majority think he's a dangerous dictator. Vast majority. For white evangelical Protestants, the vast majority think he's a strong leader. Why such a big change? It's the same religion, right? They're both Protestants, but one's black Protestant and one's white Protestant. Does that have to do with the fact that the United States is a white supremacist nation? Yes. Yes, it does. Alright. I don't feel like doing the rest. Like, this is going to be a short time, because I don't know, I'm just tired now. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. But I've been doing this so that you have the facts on your side when you go talk to people. That you can be like, yo, I heard this or that. I heard Donald Trump doesn't follow the Constitution at all, because he doesn't. But I mean, I don't know how often people talk to MAGA Nazis, MAGA slavers. Anyways, alright, that'll do it for me. That's enough. Thanks for tuning in. I will catch you next week. Until then, Pogo Kiddo out. Peace. Stop.